But I've been outside getting money, I'm on my thug again. Tryna stack a little dub, tryna catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though.
You can't laugh, Peter.
Sorry. Caught me off guard.
3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the Millennial Mentality Podcast. I am your host, Nick Agnelli, here with my co-host, Peter Price.
Yep.
And our guest today, I will call him Papo Taco.
Papo Taco.
Kevin Risheim.
Kevin Risheim is his name. Is that what an N or an M at the end?
M. It's Norwegian.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Norwegian.
Bro,
Yeah.
fuck you. You got the best genes in the world, man. Like Cuban and Norwegian. Colombian. Even
Nick
better.
did his Risheim.
Yeah.
Panamanian, but that works too.
Gee, I can't. Something down there, you know? And so Kevin and I got to know each other through Pete, and Kevin has been a supporter of this podcast since day one, and I know it means a lot to me and to Pete. You supported us through the whole journey, and we love you for that. I will say, guys, please subscribe, like, tell your friends about us. I always like to remind you of that. Just give us a like or a comment, fucking please, and it means the world. So continue to tell your friends and family about us. Just we're gonna try to grow. So yes. So to Papo Taco. My first question off the bat is, tell me where this name came from.
I knew that was coming. So when I lived in, Papo's like bro, you know, it's like homie.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure you guys heard that. But then when I lived in Mexico, I had like a taco addiction where I would just eat tacos.
Excuse me?
Yeah, still do it.
Describe, why do we put addiction behind that? Like, usually just be like, yo, I dig tacos. You know, I like them.
Because it's like I consume like 50 a week. Still.
What?
Yeah, still.
And what's the condition of your asshole? You know?
Dude, it works.
So now I have so many questions. I have so many questions. Okay, yay. I can go down this wormhole. Crunchy or soft?
Soft, like authentic Mexican al pastor, cilantro, onion, little pineapple in there, salsa verde.
Pineapple?
Yeah.
Side of
dude.
who?
Salsa verde, like green sauce.
Okay. Verde. Green.
Yeah.
He said salsa verde. You see, you got to slow down.
Salsa verde.
Yeah. Cheese?
Nah.
Even like the white crumbly Mexican cheese?
I don't like
You mean
cheese that
queso?
much.
No, there's like a crumble white Mexican cheese. It's like the goat cheese, but Mexico, you know?
But Mexico.
I'll find the name of it. You know, they put it on things.
Yeah, in Mexico they call that queso.
So
Quesito.
do we go to like Taco Bell?
No,
Never.
never.
What's your top
Moe's
three?
is like the most Tex-Mex I'll go.
For some taco fans out there, what would be your top 3 recommendations of taco places in South Florida?
El Rey del Taco.
Okay. In Nick terms, one more time.
El Rey del Taco, which is the king of taco in Lake Worth.
Okay.
They have a little bus on Military too.
Fire.
Delicious. Tacos are $2.50 each. You could always call ahead. You know,
Yeah.
pick them up. I don't know, man. There's what's that place about the crib that we? Anita's. Anita's is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I like Anita's. You know what? Like Virales in West Palm Beach is not bad too. But I like them like authentic. I don't like that Tex-Mex.
Bullshit.
I mean, I'll eat it, but it's
Yeah.
not what I eat 50
Not enough
times a
people
week.
do the pineapple with the al pastor.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know if they're really authentic.
Yeah.
And it's weird because every time I order it, like I'll order it in Spanish because they don't, you know.
Yeah.
And then I show up and they're just so mind blown.
Yeah.
But now they know me. I come in, they're like,
Yeah.
"Kevin," I'm like, "Yo."
Pineapple. I gotta write that one down. I'm gonna start ordering some more pineapple.
I should have brought some.
What? Yeah. What?
I had some today.
You have an addiction to tacos. You
You
don't
got
have
tacos
any?
today?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
literally
love
that's
it.
crazy. Did he eat a bunch of tacos when you guys lived together?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
I think I have a reel on my Instagram of just tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you do sour cream or anything on the side? No, just tacos.
It's too white. It's just.
Heard.
Yeah.
My mind went somewhere else. Okay, so back to what we were talking about, which was Papo Taco, right? And how that name originated. You had a taco addiction in Mexico. So Papo, which is bro, mixed with the taco addiction, came
Taco Bro.
Taco Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
And then you came to the States and you just started introducing yourself as Papo Taco?
Well, I was in the States before I went to
Okay.
Mexico, graduated high school there, came back here, and then my boy James, shout out to James.
Shout out Jazzy James.
Shout out Judge.
He actually was my prom date in Mexico, and I put him on this taco like grind. He eats as much tacos as I do, for sure.
I'm going to pause and rewind. You said prom date in Jazzy James.
Yeah, he was my prom date.
So you guys just went together?
Yeah, well, I was in a relationship for like
Mm-hmm.
4 years, and right before prom, we broke up, and he flew down. Flew down
Okay.
to Mexico, and he was
Okay.
my prom date, and he was there for a week, and every day we ate tacos.
Really?
3 times a day sometimes.
Did you match at prom?
What?
Did you match at prom?
No. It was
Okay.
like it wasn't like a U.S. traditional prom though.
okay.
Mexico was actually more lit. We were like,
Really? Bad
yeah,
Bunny?
we like, cause you can drink at 18 there, so it's
Oh,
like
Shit.
every table brought bottles, and there was like 8 bottles per table, cause 8 people per table.
Yeah.
But some of these kids were bringing like gallon fucking Grey Goose bottles and stuff.
No
And then
shit.
and then we just partied all night, and then at 5 a.m. they fed us tacos, and then we got in a bus and went to the after party till 2 p.m.
Jesus H Christ.
So what were you doing in Mexico? Why'd you go to high school in Mexico?
Oh, my dad's job. So he works for the government. He's a forensics expert for the Department of Justice. So we had to move like 9th grade. After 9th grade, I went there. And I hate it. Dude, I was pissed. I was like playing football. I went to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas first. And then in Parkland, shout out MSD. And then, my dad's like, yo, we got to move to Mexico. And I was like, man, I have a girlfriend. I'm playing football. I'm in high school. I was pissed. And then I went there. And then, like, now that I look back of it, it was the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, when you say, to break down the several parts here, your dad works for the Department of Justice, and he's a forensics expert.
Yeah.
So that means when he's moving to Mexico, he has a specific mission there, or is he still working for the
Yes,
government as a whole?
he works for the U.S. government, and a lot of the times we lived in like Panama, Colombia, Mexico, and he works with their Department of Justice, like the actual,
Yeah.
and he trains them. He had like a project where he would train those people, and he would bring them to the United States, like the highest ranking officials, just to help with their Department of Justice,
Really?
catching
Yeah.
murders, corruption, all that stuff. Just better training, U.S. provided training for
Okay.
other countries.
So you were born and raised in South Florida, and in the 9th grade you moved to Mexico, okay, and you spent all of high school there.
No, so I was born in Panama.
Okay.
And right after there, I moved to Colombia.
Okay.
And I lived there for like 7 years.
Okay.
Then I moved back to Panama
All right.
for like 3 years.
I was way off on this. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And then after Panama, I was like 4th grade. I moved to Florida
Mm-hmm.
to Coral Springs in 5th grade.
Okay.
And then 9th grade, moved to Mexico. High school there, graduated high school. And then 2 weeks after high school, I came back to Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, way off, but I was close. When you came back to Florida, what was that like re-entrance like? Did you feel way off in society compared to the what the society was in Mexico? How did you feel?
Dude, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like so excited to come back because like I left all my friends. I was like, they're probably so excited to see me, but like at that point, nobody gives a shit anymore.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like they're going to college. I came back, and then it was like I went to Palm Beach State,
Yeah.
went to FAU, and I was like, my expectations were higher. I thought I was gonna go have like that whole FSU party college life, but which I wanted to, but I knew it was probably better that I didn't.
Yeah.
Just because my mind, like I wasn't ready for all that, and then I don't know, it was different. You know what I mean?
You talked about being in a relationship when you were in Mexico for 4 years.
What was that like?
What was that like?
That was probably like what made my experience so crazy there. So when I moved there 2 months later, I went to a school. My school was called American School Foundation. It's an American school.
Okay.
American teachers, only like really wealthy people go there. It costs more than like a U.S. college to go there. So you're going to school with some of the kids' parents who are famous actors, government officials, or just really wealthy kids.
Yeah.
Or government, like embassy kids.
Yeah.
And I met her at a party through a friend or whatever, like 2 months in. Never knew anything of it. Like, I'm brand new in this country. And then we just got along, we hung out. But every time she'd pick me up, it'd be like bodyguards with machine guns and some movie shit. And I was like, armored cars and like helicopters, like crazy shit. And I was like, what the heck? And then like after a while, I found out her dad was the Secretary of Defense, her stepdad.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude, so crazy. I would come into a military base and like people would salute the car. I would get in cars with like machine guns, helicopters. It was pretty crazy.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I would pump the brakes if I was talking to a homegirl in school and she's like, yeah, I'll come by and scoop you up. First off, okay, cool. Second off, I'm sick. Then she comes and she's in an armored car,
Yeah.
Taco, and you're gonna get in it?
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
felt
insane to
safe
me.
in there.
Yeah,
for sure.
right, exactly.
Or they're taking you away.
But I was kind of used to that because in Colombia, anyone with like who's defined wealthier,
Status, yeah.
like they're dangerous countries. Like
Yeah.
my dad definitely got like a danger pay for coming to these countries.
Really?
Yeah, so because you're putting your family at risk.
It's a
you
different
know?
ball game down there.
Yeah, so like when you're at that level of wealth, you have to have protection.
That's insane.
And you said she had some like crazy exotic pets.
Yeah, we had a pet white lion, 4 jaguars, and we would keep them in our house, like in her home, until they were big enough. Then we have to put them in the zoo, because they're wild animals.
So you walk into her crib and just like, come on, Timmy,
Yeah.
and a jaguar walks by?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm out. Nah.
Nah, dude, it was amazing.
No, like,
That's where I get all my little artwork done. All my
Yeah.
wild animals are from that.
so
That's
you're
cool.
with her throughout high school, and then when you moved to the States, did you cut things off?
Well, right before prom, the relationship lasted longer than it should
Yeah,
have. You
yeah.
know, like in her eyes, I was playing football. I was getting offered some scholarships, just basic D2. Like,
Yeah.
and like in my mind, I'm like, I'm ready to go, like party and be a college student. You know, and then in her mind, I think she was more of like settling down, and like.
Starting a family.
Yeah,
shit,
but at 18, man, I couldn't even pass math.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I was just ready to go. Like, you ever watch Blue Mountain State?
No, but I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
That's what I thought college was
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
like.
It's not far off.
Yeah, so I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, that's what broke us up. But shout out to her. Like, we're not in bad terms or
Yeah, yeah.
anything.
Shout out to you. What's her name?
Paola.
Paula.
Paola.
That's awesome, bro. So when you came back to the States, right, obviously you had a little bit of a culture shock and realizing that, going to a community college down here and the FAU wasn't exactly what it was pegged to be. What were your next steps after graduating then, or kind of what was the whole flow of life then?
I was just excited to go to, honestly, get away from my parents. My brother was already living here. So we got a place together, and I'm thinking, like, if I'm 19 with my own place, my parents definitely helped me out. Then I started working at, like, Champs in
Me
Boca
too,
Mall.
dog.
Yeah.
We worked at Champs at the same time. We just didn't know each other.
No
Different
shit.
Champs. And then after that, my boy, Mike Reese, shout out Mike Reese, he got me a job, like, bussing tables at a brews room, and that's how I got, like, introduced to hospitality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to Brews Room, you're like 20, 21 at this time? 19. When did you start moving up to West Palm area?
Dude, that's funny. It was probably like 23,
Okay.
right? Yeah, like 3-4 years ago. Because I lived like 2 years with Pete.
Okay.
Well, after I met Pete, I was paintballing.
Yep.
I met Pete, and then like we hit it off really well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of a funny story how we met paintballing.
Yeah.
Get
you
into
wanna
it,
get
Peter.
into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to play out at Hot Shots out west, and I was rolling with Dom Kodakavich. Shout out Dom Kodakavich. Me and him went out to the paintball field one Sunday, and Kev was out there with James,
Right.
his prom date, and we didn't know each other, the two groups of people. We just happened to park right next to each other. And me and Dom would always get like a cooler full of beer every
You
time
guys-
we went out to play.
Purple Haze.
Purple Haze, that's
Yeah.
right. Now, in hindsight, it's like a pussy beer to be out there drinking, to be honest. But we were young, we were jits, you know?
Yeah.
And they were on the same, the same kind of
Yeah.
vibe. They had like a cooler full of beer also. And so we were both like unpacking our cars and shit. We just happened to park right next to each other. And we're like getting geared up and shit. We pull our coolers out. We're like cracking the beer. It's probably like 10 a.m. to be honest.
Yeah.
And we both kind of look at each other as we're like fucking slugging beers. And they're like, oh, you guys got the right idea. You know how to play paintball.
Right.
And so we just kind of like linked up and we're like, you guys want to like kind of roll together today and like play together? And it was like all over after that. We started playing together every Sunday after that.
We just knew that every Sunday we'd hang out. We didn't text. I don't think we got each other's phone numbers for a
Yeah.
while. We
Yeah.
just knew at 10 a.m. every Sunday we'd be at Hot Shots.
Yeah.
And that's how Palm Beach Reckless like
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're still going.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys were like the founding fathers of Palm Beach Reckless.
Yeah,
OGs.
James, me, Pete, Dom, yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Bros just being bros, man.
That's
I like
right.
that.
good time.
Now, at what point did you guys decide to move in with one another?
So I had started managing Kachina. Fast forward a couple years later. Kevin had been running Brews Room for a while, just like head bartender, kind of really running the show down there, doing a good job. And I had been wanting to get him up here for a while, just because we'd become best friends over the years. And it obviously didn't make sense for him to like commute from Coral Springs for a bartending job at Kachina.
I think
I had been dating Chanel for a long time, living in the apartment that I was living in. We had like a 2-bedroom
I
apartment.
was dating Rachel, and then I think him and Chanel split up at the same time, Rachel and I did, and his
Right.
lease was about to end. So I was like, fuck it, I'm moving to West Palm.
Yeah.
And I moved, and I was doing that commute to Brews Room to Coconut Creek
No
from
shit.
West Palm for like a good 4 months until I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Because then Pete introduced me to Mike Steinberg. Shout out, Mike.
Shout out Mike Steinberg.
And I got the job at Bradley's, and that's
Okay.
how like my whole hospitality life began in West Palm Beach.
Yeah,
Huh.
man.
Yeah,
And then how long did you end up staying at Bradley's for?
like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, right before COVID, I went full time, and then during COVID, I became a manager at Bradley's. Crazy experience of my life, and then
Why do you say that?
it was just I'd never managed a restaurant before, and that's not a little restaurant.
And then to do it through COVID.
Through COVID, you know, like
Yeah,
first
yeah.
week, I remember my first day managing, ATF showed up, and they were like. I'm like, I thought I was in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they showed up with badges and they just wanted to see their licenses. They were just doing their
Yeah.
job. But I was like, wow, what did I sign up for?
Yeah.
And then like COVID task force would show
Yeah.
up. They would, that was a thing. It was just retired like cops and stuff who would make sure your tables were like 6 feet away and
Jesus.
make sure your occupancy
Yeah.
was on point. And like they
were
knew
out
me
there
by
every
name.
day for a minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every day.
That's insane. And in retrospect, like, what?
And Bradley's especially was like a fucking outdoor
Open, yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
You know, like
Dude, yeah. When COVID happened and they closed down, it was like March 16th, I believed.
Yeah.
I think a month later, they like let people do takeout. Like the cops would come to Bradley's every day because everybody would get like to-go drinks
Yeah.
and food and go to the park and just party at the park
Oh,
every
man.
day. And then the cops would have to come every day and just close it down because it was,
Really?
it
That's
was-
actually a fun idea.
It was actually really cool. Yeah.
I think COVID opened up a lot of people's eyes in Pete's case in that realm, but also opened people's eyes to like, oh my God, like freedom and the way we live our lives and everything like that. Like we're lucky as hell, and don't take that shit for granted at all. You know, like when they said like you couldn't open your business or you can't go out to eat, I felt I was losing my mind for 2 weeks. I only took 2 weeks off. But for 2 weeks, I was like, I was doing shit around the house. You know, I just became very antsy, and then we get aggravated. And that's right when Paige and I moved in with one another. So we moved in because her school shut down for COVID. So she moved up here, and we moved in here. And it was like, you're living with someone for the first time. I'm living with a person for the first time.
Right.
And then you can't do shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jupiter's pretty nice. Can't go anywhere, but, you know, I promise. And for the first 3 months she lived here, we couldn't like go out. You know, at one point the beaches were even closed. It was insane, you know, and
I couldn't really imagine it happening again. Like if things went back to being that intense again, I don't know if people would get on.
well,
board.
they've tried to like beta test it with like monkeypox and shit like that, and people are like, "Pff," you know, and I think a good temperature for like where we are as a society is like I flew a lot in the past month. You on a plane, bro? There's maybe 3 or 4 people wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear a mask anymore?
No.
Really?
I went
No.
to the dentist today, and they made me wear a mask.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
obviously
gonna look
not-
at your fucking mouth.
That's what I thought too.
I
was
hate
like,
the
are you
world.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
The lady that was doing my teeth though wore a face shield.
Yeah, that's like getting your dick tested and still having to wear a condom.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Does that make any sense? I'm herpes free.
Yeah.
By the way, what is herpes?
I'm not sure exactly.
Is it a bug? Is it a thing on your dick? And how do you contract it?
Rash? I don't know.
You know, it's crazy.
STD.
We hear that, right? But what is an STD, Peter? A sexually transmitted disease. I understand that. Have you ever had craps? Have you ever had an STD, Peter?
No.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know. I actually haven't been tested.
That's the good point. Me too. You know, I can't say with a definitive
You've never been
answer.
tested?
Never. No.
I used to get tested all the
Yeah?
time. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
I had it again.
Yeah.
but
You were on a roll
It's
for a
so
while.
facto.
We lived together.
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
was on fire.
Yeah.
For a while.
Oh,
I got it out of my system early,
Yeah.
bro, for sure. I'm glad I did, bro.
Table
I'm not
Nito.
missing out. But
that's so how does that work, Taco? Now that we're down that.
I mean, every time I would go get a checkup or anything, my insurance would cover it. So I would
I
just
know I'm
pee
not
in
talking
the
about
cup.
insurance wise. I'm talking like when you go in, they just swab you. I mean, how does
No,
that-
I just pee in a cup.
Pee in a cup. Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say you
Nice
get
and
bricked. Because and then they
bricked
call
up.
you later that day.
Yeah, well, yeah, and if like you have to come back and get your results because they can't disclose it over the.
Oh.
I remember getting it like, hey, you have to come back, and I was like,
Oh shit.
fuck.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, you're good. You
Yeah.
just can't disclose that information over the phone.
And did you ever hit a road bump? Like no, wow.
Never any scares.
No,
No, good.
Did you ever wake up in the morning one time? I was like, I definitely got an STD last night.
no,
No. You know,
hell no.
guilty. Just kidding, babe.
Good question.
Yeah. No, I think STDs are fun. No, not fun. You know, just whatever.
They just sound bad.
Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
sound really scary. You know, and
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
and crabs. You know, like why do
Yeah.
we call it that? That's not a great name. Are they mini crabs?
I probably, if you look at it under a microscope, I bet that's how they named it.
A little crab.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably.
Which is just insane. You know.
Just guessing.
Yeah. When do you see yourself having kids? You know, in the next 5 years, do you think you're gonna be a father?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
And how many kids do you guys want?
I think I'm gonna just keep trying till I get a boy.
What
matter what?
What if
the-
it's 1 for 1?
If the first one's a boy, then I'll have 2.
Yes. What about you?
At first, I wanted like 5.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted like a whole little paintball team.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember telling you about that. Like I wanted 5,
Yeah.
and then like I see today's society and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe
It's a
2
lot
is
to juggle.
okay.
Yeah. Now you're in a relationship now,
Yeah,
and what's her name?
Jacqueline.
Shout out
Shout out
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Yeah, great
Never
girl.
met her, but I've heard a bunch of good things about you, Jacqueline.
Yeah, she's awesome.
How'd you meet her?
I hired her.
Classic.
Thank you, sir.
Guilty, dude. I'm guilty.
Yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I knew her sister. I knew her mom, because it was because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline was living in L.A. in California, and then like COVID over there was hectic, right? So she had to move back here, and then her sister was like a hostess at Bradley's, who she now bartends. And then I remember telling her like, "Yo." Her sister was like, "Hey, my sister's coming down. Like, she needs a job." And at first, I was like, "I have
Yeah.
enough people. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And then I met her and I hired her on the spot. Like
All
that,
right.
Yeah.
When did you start making moves, Taco?
I knew the day I hired her that I remember, and this sounds like super corny. When I
Mm-hmm.
hired her, I remember going to Trevor, one of my best friends. He was bartending. I was like, I just hired the love of my life. Didn't think anything of it.
yeah.
Didn't think
Stop
anything
the
of
madness.
it. And then, but I had to keep it pro. It was
Yeah.
like, but I was a simp too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then
It's funny you say that because I remember like
Aw,
JoJo,
yeah, you
who I'm
do,
with
yeah.
now. I also used to work with
Yeah.
at Lenora's, and we met during COVID as well. She had been quarantined for like 14 days because she was like sick or something.
Mhm.
So I was working at the Lenora's. I hadn't met her yet, but I had heard that there's this girl JoJo who's quarantined right now, and she's gonna be coming back. So I had to call her and like figure out what her work schedule was gonna be like.
You liked her voice.
And
Yeah,
That's
I
in the
remember
phone.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she sounds hot.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I called her. I was like, "Hey, what's your schedule?" She's like, "I'll work 7 days a week. I'm trying to like get my
Yeah.
money up. I just had to take 2 weeks off." Which, first of all, I loved that. You
Yeah.
know, this girl's a hustler. But her voice was like so cute. Not to sound like weird or anything, but her voice was just so cute. And I remember, I think, calling Kevin afterwards and being like, "Yeah, that girl sounded so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet JoJo."
Yeah,
And sure enough, I fucking love JoJo.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And to girls out there, our 10% of listeners who are girls. Yeah, voice is a big thing to guys. And get your voice hot because, you know, I don't know how the fuck you do that. I have a shitty voice. But it does matter to guys. Now, what was your next, to the guys out there who hire someone and you're in love, what was your moves, you know?
I try to keep it pro. I mean, obviously, with a bunch of girls bartending at Bradley's and stuff, people would think I would give her special treatment, obviously. And then, like, I remember Nick Coniglio, the owner, found, like, he knew before I could tell him. And he's like, stuff like that, you got to tell me right away. And I was like, damn, like, am I in trouble? He's like, no, I'm happy for you. But just, like, I need to know those things. And I never knew why, but, like, he likes to know everything.
just likes to know.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, we would just flirt a little bit, and then one day I remember she was going to get cut for work, but she wanted to stay the whole night, but I was
you
getting
were
cut.
cutting her.
I was going to get cut.
Okay.
And then she's like, well, I want to get cut. And that was like, green light. And then from then, we like spend every day together till today.
It's like, oh, we had the same schedule this week. Who made the schedule? I did.
Yeah.
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 For sure. Guilty.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
How long y'all been dating for?
since December of 2020.
Okay.
So I'm about to be 2 years.
All right. And now you and Peter are kind of on the same plane where, you've met the love of your lives and whatnot. I love to ask this question. I'm sure you guys talk about it from time to time, but when it gets to that next step of like marriage and engagement, what's your temperature on that?
I definitely want to like commit and engage soon,
yeah.
for sure. Like that's definitely something we talked about.
Yeah.
But like even now, like we knew like marriage and stuff, having kids, stuff like it's money.
Something you talk about.
Yeah. So right now we like moved. Our lease ended in our apartment. We're staying at a house she grew up in just to save some money for rent. And I mean that's my next step, just saving up, getting ahead. I don't want to like put someone through like getting a girl like her pregnant or like marriage and stuff like that, living paycheck to paycheck. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's I'll say this, and this is a response in a good way and a little bit of the other. It's there will never be a perfect time to do anything. You start making money, but now you're making money because you're busy with work. Now you can't get engaged because you're focused on work.
Right.
It just, I'll say this, it'll never be a perfect time, but you're doing it in a mature way where it's not like you'll know when you're ready. That's a bullshit term. Like, you'll know when you're ready. No, you don't. It's not like a fucking bird calls you in the morning. You're like, buy a ring.
Right.
But you'll say, like, if and when I do this, it's going to enhance my life on all aspects.
Right.
I'm going to become better at work. I'm going to become better with my family. Because of that, right? So I love that for you, man. And regardless, like, when you guys take that step, it's a scary step because, like, the thought of it's scary and exciting at the same time, but the thought of literally, like, I'm going to be with one person for the rest of my life, it's kind of a crazy thought.
Right.
And to go and do the act of buying the ring and going through that process, you're like, all right, like, this is, I'm locked in. And it's not the locked in that scares you. It's like the locked in at 26, 27 years old and saying, like, this is until I fucking die, you know, which is crazy, but exciting.
Have you guys talked at all about, like, if you want to do a big wedding or a small wedding?
We actually just went to a wedding 2 days ago. It was like our first wedding.
Yeah.
That we've ever gone.
Really?
Well, I went to one of Trevor's like dad's wedding when I was little or something, but like as an adult, it was like our first real wedding, and it was our friend Richie from paintball.
Right.
He just got married. Shout out to him.
Shout out Richie. Richie Fresh.
And it was amazing. They did something local in Fort Lauderdale. The venue was great. It was more family and close friends. It was great. But I think even after that, we're like, you know what? It would be really cool doing like a destination wedding. That's something I would love to do and like keep it tight, but like fun.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Like going somewhere like Bali
or
or just bringing like your best man, the bridesmaids, the groom, family, and just doing something out there.
And you invite family, but a lot of them won't go because it's in fucking Bali, you know. And in retrospect,
Bali is just a place.
Just
it's
a
not
place.
where I want to do it.
Sure.
And I'm so torn, right? Because the wedding is the trippiest complex there is because you're doing it for you and your now wife, but you're really doing it for everyone else, you know? And so the whole time you're torn between the two of like, I would want this, but everyone would want that. And so a destination wedding was something we kind of flew by because it wouldn't be in the best interest of, you gotta also think, grandmas are 90, are they flying on a plane? I want my grandma there, you know, and shit like that. And so, in retrospect, before the wedding, I was burnt out from it, bro. Imagine talking about something for 14 months straight, you know, and it'd go through busy spells, and then you'd feel like you get behind on things, then you pick up again. But like the month before, it was like every fucking day we'd come home and it was like a checklist of shit, and there's so many moving parts. And by the time the wedding was showing up, I'm like, dude, I'm burnt the fuck out, you know. Like I just want to marry you on a courthouse and let's go get drunk and fuck, and. And so, but the wedding comes around the day of, and then you just realize, like, it was all worth it. You know, you just feel really special. She feels really special. And you're able, it's really trippy. I've said it at both my sister's weddings, and then ultimately at mine, it meant the most. But you never really stand in front of a room of people, and, like, you can look at everyone, besides some in-laws I've never met before in my life, and say, like, these are my people, like, all of them in one area. And so that's a really cool experience. Yeah, you know, it's like I don't have to run from this friend's house to this friend's house, and they're all just right here, you know. So it was an awesome day. And then, you know, after it, you come home, and life is the same, but you call her your wife, which is trippy too, you know, like, my wife. But it's exciting. So that's exciting for you, man, taking that next step. And shout out to Jacqueline. You make my boy happy.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How quick was it for them to change their last name, like in all social media and stuff?
Oh, so I kind of asked her to.
There it is.
No, I have so much love and respect for my last name. And both my sisters obviously married into a last name, so they don't have Agnelli anymore. So for me, Agnelli and like what I want to leave the legacy of that name just means a lot. So I had mentioned it like as a joke the day after, and then later that day it just happened to happen. And she changed it the next day, and I think it's really been an exciting thing for her because she knows how much my name means to me, and now that she's a part of that, it's kind of like a bigger thing, So it was the next day she changed it, and then like there's a thing on Instagram. This is a smart idea. It's like a box full of like documents to change bank. I mean, because it's a lot, bro. I mean, literally think about everything with your name on it: bank accounts, social security, driver's license, all this shit. So that was a smart idea to invent something like that, where it's basically a box of like documents you got to fill out for your name, and you send it out and it's done.
On Instagram, they have that.
It was an Instagram ad she bought it off of.
Oh.
Yeah. But so with Jacqueline and you guys stepping together, is she still bartending? What's her?
Yeah, she's still at Bradley's.
Okay, and what's her next steps? Does she want to be in hospitality forever, or?
I think she's still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But she's got like her attention to detail is amazing. So she has this like her own professional organizing business.
Okay.
Where she would like can come here and just organize, and I don't want to say it's a cleaning business.
Yeah.
Obviously she has to clean, but just organizes the whole house and everything. I know she was doing a client in Boca, and she was there like 7 different visits that was doing garage, the closet for women, obviously, towels, everything. Just makes it look really neat. Like our kitchen, when we lived in West Palm, like everything was labeled perfectly. I used to come home, house was just like something like you walk into a hotel room every day. It was awesome.
And then you get from across the house, Kevin! And you're like, fuck.
No, I'm actually pretty clean though. I'm pretty clean.
Who's your cleaner roommate?
Kevin, I think.
Dude,
yeah.
I bought that steam. No, you bought the steam mop, didn't you? Was it?
Yeah.
Or did we buy the steam mop?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
I used to be really, really OCD and like label maker and super OCD, but I've lost it a little bit over the years. A little bit. I'm getting now that we like just moved into the new place. I kind of have it back.
I think you needed that.
I got a fresh start, But
yeah, when I first moved in there, I brought a whole like gallon of Fabuloso. With
Really?
Me.
yeah, I just
for
bought
sure.
Fabuloso, actually. The
Do you guys do a lot of deep cleans, like every week type shit?
She does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the good part. Like I still help cleaning, but she like finds
Is
some
on it.
therapy on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, she likes to do it.
It is
which is
soothing.
great.
Yeah, it's fire.
I love it.
All right, which roommate would go to bed the latest?
Pete.
Which
When I lived with Pete, he had this thing where you go to bed at like 5 a.m. and then wake up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
He would cook and then go back to bed and wake up at like 1 p.m. or something
that's super
crazy.
weird, Peter.
I have fucked up sleep schedule. Not so much anymore. I'm like back to a normal person.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we were living together, I mean, because I was still in like the nightlife then.
Yeah.
You know? So if I wasn't working, or like when I was working, I was coming home at 6 a.m. from work, and then on my days off, like my body was still kind of wired that way. So it's like I'd be up all night, and then even once I got out of the industry and I was like starting my tattoo thing and getting into art and shit, I would be like up all night on like working on art projects and shit.
Right.
And I'd be literally staying up all night long working on that shit. Kevin would come home from work sometimes at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be like on the patio with a respirator on, spray painting shit.
Yeah.
And Kevin would wake up then at 8 a.m. I'd still be in the living room like fucking working on things.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I went through a weird phase.
There was a point, I think, every time we'd wake up, I would look at Pete and we'd give each other a good morning hug every morning.
So paper towels are my thing, right? I'm a paper towel guy.
Yeah.
What type?
It's been it's been Kirkland
Like what brand,
lately. Kirkland lately. Like I said,
Costco?
yeah, I'm probably running through 1 roll of paper towels every 2 days. I love the earth. I'm fucking killing trees out here, but I use an insane amount of paper towels. So I thought to myself, am I the average, right? If I eat dinner, I eat with my hands too. I'm a barbarian.
Dude, I'm the
so
same
no
way.
utensils. So I'm getting 4 or 5 paper towels just to the left of me for my hands, and so I thought to myself, am I using an irregular amount of paper towels? And then I went online to my TikTok at Nick Agnelli, and I said, hey guys, am I crazy? And a lot of the response was, yes, you are. Now, to you have an exception because you're a tattoo artist, but like, I would say every 2 to 3 days, I'm replacing.
Even outside
That's
of the
what I do.
tattoo world, though, like in my personal life at home, I'm like doing a roll a day almost.
Really?
Yeah, but I know it's excessive. Like I know that's not really normal, and I catch myself doing it all the time. Like if I'm cooking, and like I'll fucking,
everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I'll catch myself like I'll wash my hands to do something, grab like 4 paper towels to dry them, set that shit down, and then I'll go to grab like a pan. Need to clean the pan. Rinse it out, grab 4 more paper towels, and then I'll just put that on top of the other paper towels that I just used, and by the end of it I used like 14 paper towels, you know? And then I gotta clean everything up, and instead of using like the 14 paper towels that are there, I'll grab 4 more, and you know, like, I've got a problem.
When you cook chicken, right, and like say we're marinating it or something like that while you're cooking other things, every time you touch that chicken, are you washing them hands?
Yes.
Every time.
And I'm probably getting new paper towels every time that I
Because
time.
That's what one of the paper towels for. It's a little damp paper towel, so I touch the chicken, little damp paper towel. And then go back to little damp paper towel. Now,
but after you touch that chicken and then you touch your damp paper towel, that damp paper towel is now contaminated with the chicken.
You know, I never thought about that.
You might as well be touching the chicken again next time you touch that paper towel.
What's the worst that could happen if you don't
Salmonella.
Yeah,
even if you don't eat it?
Okay, let's be honest.
If you don't eat the what?
That's
the
fake
raw
too,
chicken, though.
because
No, it's not.
You ever met anyone who had salmonella? That's a good fucking point, Peter.
It's a good point.
That's a very good point, Peter.
Doesn't mean it
and I
doesn't
know
exist.
a lot of ratchet-ass people, including myself. I ate 2-day-old chicken in my fucking truck.
He always uses this example.
And I didn't get no salmonella. What is salmonella? Is it a thing? Is it an STD? Who knows? All I'm saying is salmonella, fake list, because, again, right, little damn paper towel with salmonella, there's nothing there, bro.
Yeah.
And has anyone ever ate raw chicken? No. Maybe raw chicken enhances testosterone or something that they don't want us to have.
No.
But my question is,
yeah.
like, if you're just touching it,
Yep.
like, and you're not eating it and it's still raw, what's the
Yeah,
what's the
right?
worst that can happen?
Well, it's so fascinating because, so say you're cooking pasta and chicken at the same time, and I go to try a pasta noodle, and I put it in my mouth, then I got salmonella in my mouth. If salmonella is real.
Or like, you know, you're
right.
touching the countertop, or you touch like a cabinet handle, you know, and now tomorrow you go to eat an apple, you know, and then you grab the apple out of the cabinet and that has that residue on the handle, you know, like you're just cross-contaminating things.
Okay.
So if I'm touching the chicken, before I touch anything else, I'm washing my hand. It's just what you learn when you work in a restaurant, you know, you take serve safe classes, you learn about cross-contamination. And it's just imprinted in my brain.
Yeah.
Same, but I'm also the same way about fucking the danger zone with temperatures.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
We used to leave the Sierra chicks out on the counter while we'd record the episodes, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not eating that after we."
Yeah, I'm kind of weird with that. I'm with like I can't eat cold
food. We would record an hour and a
food.
half episode, and then he'd go out there and
Sometimes
he'd
3
eat
hours.
the fucking chicken that was sitting on the counter during the whole time we were recording. And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm good on that."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Pete, you want to take this home? I'd be like, "No, I'm gonna throw that in the garbage can because it's been sitting at room temperature for 3 hours."
Here's the thing about old food, right? That makes me question things that I do. I've eaten a lot of old food. Now, I might be the exception, right? But for instance, right, there is a awesome taco de verde with fish, right? That
Fish.
you were drunk the night before. You threw in the microwave at 12 at night. You woke up at 9. And you're like, oh shit, I got a fish taco in the microwave. Are you slamming that fish taco?
No.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, I'm killing that.
Well, I've also just living in Mexico, and like you can't even use tap water there. You have everything has to be filtered.
Yeah.
I feel like my stomach can handle a
dude.
lot.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Like
You know,
my bro-
Eating the fish taco that's been sitting in the microwave for 9 hours.
Let me ask you a question, Peter. Right?
I just gotta reheat it. It can't be cold. I can't eat it cold.
You think in 3000 BC they killed a jaguar and they were like,
They also lived to be like 25 years old.
I have no freezer. I can't eat it after 10 minutes. I'm not eating tartar for 3 days, Peter. They dug a hole, they put the jaguar in it, so no predators got it, and they kept eating it.
Yeah, they died from like stubbed toes.
All right, Nick. So if you get like you had ideal nutrition?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So do you go by the expiration dates?
No, I don't believe in that. The only thing I won't have is if there's mold and or chunky milk. I will not fuck with either one of those.
Chunky milk.
But, dude, again, I'll say it till I die, right? I'm not superhuman, but I left chicken in my truck, right? I brought it for work one day. 90-degree truck, sitting in my truck all fucking day. Drove home, happy Nick, ate dinner. Woke up the next day, drove to work, lunchtime, forgot lunch. Went to my truck, saw the chicken. Ate the chicken.
From the day before.
From the day before. 36 hours it's been sitting there. Chilling.
Nothing happened?
Nothing
You didn't have
happened.
diarrhea or nothing?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. And there was mashed potatoes and barbecue sauce in there. Nothing.
Did you heat it up?
No. Well, it was heated up in my truck. It was like 90 degrees in my truck.
Oh my god.
It was sweating. Yeah, the dead chicken was sweating. Yeah.
Christ.
No, I'm not saying this was a good thing. I'm saying that I survived, right? So let's start questioning what they're telling us, you know?
Man.
It's just a safety thing, you know.
Maybe from what? Salmonella? Let's stop.
That's so crazy.
You know, it just gets me thinking. And I know there's people out there like me too. Washing hands, another thing. I don't think it's that critical. After I poop, I wash my hands.
Yeah.
Right? Only if I really feel something. We talked about that.
Only if I really
Like a
feel
sprinkle?
something.
I'm being dead honest right now, dude. I don't wash my hands a lot. You know, prior, if I know Daddy may be getting some tonight and I'm gonna be down under,
Yeah.
I wash my hands. You know, I don't want to.
But wait, hold on. Just
Mm-hmm.
to clarify, after you poop,
Mm-hmm.
only if you feel something, you wash your hands, or
Yeah.
like every.
Well, I'll do a little sniff.
At work or like if you're at home,
Oh, that's just
wifey's
general,
gone,
yeah.
you poop, do you wash your hands?
No chance. 0% chance. Unless I, you know.
Dude wipes?
I did. I dabble in wet wipes. If I feel like A, I got a crusty asshole, or B, something just happened down there that I need to clean up and I need to call on backup, I'll use a wet wipe. But with that exception, no, not really. And listen, I'm not telling you to do this, but maybe try it and see if. I know a lot of people got a lot more sick than me. You know, raspberries.
Let's hear it.
Right? Everyone has them. Beautiful red little things, right? You sneeze on a raspberry, there's a little AC breeze in your house, that raspberry's getting squished. It's very tender, raspberries, right? Blackberries are very hard. Blueberries are pretty hard. Raspberries, not so much. You ever seen a raspberry bush?
No.
No, crazy, right?
No.
Also, how are they picking those raspberries? By hand? And how are they not getting squished in packaging?
Right.
Hmm.
And they also expire like in one day,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
I remember always like working anywhere that had raspberries, like they're just a 1 day shelf life.
Yeah, right? So between the bush, I've never seen a raspberry bush, and the picking of the raspberries makes me start to think. And then the more I go around town and say, "Hey, have you seen raspberry bush?" and I don't get yes answers, I start to question raspberries, you know, as a whole.
And your point of like, are they picking them by hand is kind of good, because like that's pretty inefficient if they are picking them by hand. But it's like they're definitely not picking them by machine.
Yeah.
Because if it's a machine, like
Yeah.
they'd be getting crushed, you know, because
Yeah.
they're so delicate.
Easily.
So like they kind of have to be picking them by
Yeah.
hand, but like
Like bananas, I get it. Machete bananas, right?
yeah.
Ish. Pineapples, seen them. Carrots, we think. Right.
Marshmallows.
That's a good
Ooh.
question.
You ever heard of marshmallow bush?
Where did the marshmallows come
Wait,
from?
are you talking about like,
There's a
what we
thing-
s'more?
There's like an actual.
Marshmallows come from a bush? Shut the fuck up.
No,
Dude,
he's
look it up
tripping
right
now.
now.
He's tripping.
Look it
no,
up
no,
right
no,
now.
Don't look it up, bro. Marshmallow? You think a There's many ones, Peter.
You could make some. You could definitely make some, but there's a marshmallow bush, bro. Look it up.
Look it up, dude. Kevin, I've said some shit on here, right? A marshmallow bush?
Dude.
Where do you pick them? They're perfectly even. Are you saying one of the ingredients for a marshmallow is from a marshmallow bush? Or
Just
marshmallows?
wait till you see the picture.
It's a flower. Looking at a flower.
No. Go on images.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up.
The fuck, dude?
Shut the fuck up.
No way.
That's
My
funny.
girlfriend Jacqueline asked me where marshmallows come from, and I was like, "You make them." And then she showed me that, and I've been mind blown.
No chance.
This is not a
That's
meme?
a s'more setup, bro. That's a s'more setup.
This
That's-
isn't a meme?
There's no way, dude.
We're gonna throw this on the screen
Yeah.
for everyone else to see. What the fuck?
That's a bold
Yeah.
claim. Do you believe
Blew
that?
your mind.
Do you believe that there's two Twixes in a Twix package? Do you think the right and left are different Twixes?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I answered that on your last podcast.
Yeah, you got so
Oh,
much.
you answered the poll?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
me.
We put a poll.
I told you, dude. I do the polls.
Oh, I listened
It's
to it.
on
Yeah.
Spotify.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start asking some of the old questions because I just know you and you'll answer truthfully. If I were to give you $1 million for every inch you took off your horn, how many inches are you taking?
Probably like one.
One 1 inch.
I think it's a good answer.
Yeah,
One-
that's a
one's
safe
fair.
answer. Yeah, I get it. You know, because you're at 1 too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
One. Could I like, if shit goes south, could I just be like, all right, let me trade in another inch for another million later on in life, or is it just like
It's a
one-time deal?
one-time deal.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
one-time deal.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, about one.
1,
Yeah.
2, 1, 2.
And the part of the question that we never like really thought of when we asked this was apparently it's really easy to like buy inches, and they're not that expensive.
I looked into
Really?
Everyone on TikTok is like, yeah, you take one for $1 million, and then you buy like 3 inches for 75,000.
Here's my thing with that, right? How does that work? Because think about it this way: you cut down a tree in half, and then do you put a stump in the middle, and then put the tree back on top and glue it, right? And how does that tree come up and down and up and down? You know what's
Yeah, I mean,
crazy
I
about
I
the
don't
penis?
know how it
You
works.
know what's crazy about the penis? Penis head size never changes, typically.
That's
It has
not
to.
True.
Dude,
Your
when you're
penis
2
head
years
size
old,
changes?
your penis head type
Yeah,
is the
well,
No,
same.
I'm not saying as you grow up. I'm saying from right now, right, to the moment where you're about to have sex. Does your penis head size?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
we
sure.
we think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
A little bit.
maybe she's got a little helmet down there. Classic. Would you say your girth or length is a better advantage to your penis?
I say
You
girth,
gotta
right?
have the right ratio.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe you have that ratio?
Yeah, I'm happy with my ratio.
Yeah. I gotta get off.
Are you
this.
happy with your ratio?
Well, it's funny you asked. No, I believe. I'll say it. I have an average penis.
You've said it many times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not your first time saying it.
If you ever see my penis, which you won't, hopefully. But if you ever do, you're gonna say, "Wow."
Throw
that's-
the clip up.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're doing. But I have an average penis, right? I think so think about me. I'm Cooper Kupp, right? Average guy. Exceptional receiver, right? What's the difference? The effort he puts into receiving. So when I think about me, right? God blessed me with an average sized penis, and he said, "This boy better learn." And I think that I've pushed to become a better. Listen, if you got a 12-inch dick, you ain't trying a lot in sex.
Yeah.
You sitting back and you're saying you do the
I
work.
think that would suck, having a dick that big. I think it'd be uncomfortable. You can't wear skinny jeans.
That
Can't wear
is
short
true.
shorts.
What happens also if you're in the club, bro, and that anaconda starts getting going?
Sex
you know?
charge. Going to jail.
That is true, dude. Yeah, right. So I think maybe I would like an 8-inch penis if I could get that. Was that too big?
That's a big one, dude.
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
Would you go? You'd ride with a 7 boy?
7's great.
7's great.
7's a good number.
7's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna be mad about 8.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
yeah.
just saying that's probably the.
That's a flex.
That's the end
Yeah,
of the
that's a
spectrum. I
flex.
think for me. Like,
You ever taken a dick pic in your life?
yeah, dude.
Oh, dude,
for
I have
sure.
the worst dick pic story.
Anyone who says
Yeah.
they haven't a lie.
Fucking, I took a dick pic once. I was dating this girl and she lived like in Orlando or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a fucking idiot and I took it on Snapchat, right?
You posted to your story.
Yeah, dude.
Shut up.
Phone died.
Shut
Nice.
up.
Nice.
I was up there for a couple hours.
Were you bricked in the picture?
Yeah,
Did it
dude,
look
it was a
good?
good one. It was a good
Okay.
one. It was a good
I
one.
might have a better dick pic story.
You okay?
So, I was working at Bradley's at this time.
Oh no.
I was probably like 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was in really great shape. I was working out all the time and taking a lot of progress pics, in the mirror.
With your penis.
Well, sometimes
the weird part.
when they're for yourself, I wasn't really ever planning on I don't know. I wasn't planning on anyone seeing it. It was right before I got in the shower. I had just gotten home from the gym,
Yeah.
about to hop in the shower,
Mhm.
flexed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was naked.
What was the condition downstairs? Right? Was it?
I was
down,
it was like a medium.
Medium, yeah.
Which was kind of
Good.
Yeah,
Probably saved you.
It was a little
Yeah.
flattering, to be honest. Because, it kind of looked like it was soft,
Yeah.
but it wasn't shriveled
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
soft. It was kind of impressively
Yeah.
looking soft,
Yeah.
But clearly in the picture.
Mhm.
So I'm fucking, flexed up in the mirror.
Dick
And
out.
I take this picture. I go about my day. I'm working at Bradley's. They set up this online portal thing for us where we're now going to be getting our schedules online, and we have to create an account for us to be able to view our schedule and shit.
That was your prof pic.
And so I'm
A
setting
cock
up.
shot on your prof
The
pic.
next day, I'm setting up my account, And this is like back when like you'd plug in your phone to your computer and like you'd like can sync your iTunes and shit, and everything from your phone would automatically like sync to your computer and vice versa. So all my photos from my phone are on my computer, and this fucking nude photo of myself is on my computer, and so I have to pick a profile picture for this account for Bradley's, and
Couldn't see the dick on the photo?
well, no, I didn't mean to pick this photo, but as I'm scrolling through the files to see like which picture I'm gonna pick for my profile picture, I noticed, holy shit, there's a naked picture of me in this file, and I wasn't really thinking, and I see the naked picture of me, I'm like, holy shit, am I naked in that picture? So I click on it to like make it bigger and see the picture, and sure enough, that's the picture. I was like, holy shit. I exit out. Go keep scrolling through, go to find the one that I actually want to use. I click on that one. I find the picture that I'm going to use. I click it, go about my business, finish completing the profile, go about my day. Probably 8 to 12 hours go by. I go to work. I'm working my shift. I get called into the office. And the manager's like, Pete, what the fuck is this? And he spins the monitor around, and it's me butt naked flexed in the mirror with my dick out. And I'm like, oh, shit!
Are you kidding me?
It turns out every picture that you clicked on, it was just uploading, you know? Like, it wasn't like I just selected one picture. It was like when I clicked on that one to look at it, it just uploaded it.
Dude, a lot of people work at Bradley's.
Yeah, and it was like
Was there multiple cock shots?
No, it was just the one.
Yeah.
But it was uploaded, and it was like on a
feed?
Facebook timeline, basically, you know?
That's foul.
Was it like down in the knees?
It was basically just dick up.
So it definitely looked like a dick shot.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Full
No, I
face and
wasn't
everything,
working
man.
there.
Full face and everything.
Was there like screenshots going around of your cock?
No, thank God. It was like minimal damage. Like,
No one said
Really?
anything?
That manager, there was another girl manager in the office, so the two managers saw it. They probably told a couple people, but that was like about it. And that was like, there's a minimal backlash. Again,
That's like
it was also like a really good picture of me. I was jacked at the time, and my dick looked good. So like, it wasn't like there was nothing bad
weren't
you could
ashamed.
really say.
You're pretty OCD, Peter. It's very hard for me to believe that even after updating the profile, you didn't go to the profile, look around, see what's up. Almost intended for that picture, because you keep mentioning how great you look, and I believe you.
Yeah,
you probably looked great.
I was zero intentional. I swear to God.
Because that's a bold move, but I like that move.
Yeah.
Were you single at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, Peter.
That's where it all
played out
began.
well. It played out well, but it was not intentional.
That's got to be circulating somewhere. If you have that, please send it over.
Yeah. Manager Will, if you happen to save that on your phone, please don't.
Well,
send it.
but here's the question, right? With dick pics, which that's both amazing stories. Are you, like, if you're looking for a bamboo one, right, that you're going to send to your girl, she's on vacation, are you taking an aerial shot, or is it from the side or is it from the front profile? And are you completely bricked?
Definitely bricked.
Bricked,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like holding it.
I'm usually...
Aerial?
Yeah, I was comparing it to my little hands. So
Yeah.
it was like, made it look bigger than it really had to be.
I thought about that one time, photoshopping my hands smaller. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Kevin, you mentioned that you went to Douglas...
Stoneman Douglas?
Stoneman Douglas High School.
Right.
Whenever that situation happened, was it 2015, 2016?
2017.
2017 in that range. What was that initial reaction like? I mean, I'm sure kids who were seniors were probably freshmen when you graduated.
Yeah, a lot of the kids affected, maybe, I mean, some killed and not.
Yeah.
The coach was my football coach,
Yeah.
you know, so a lot of those kids were my friends' younger siblings.
Mm.
So that was the worst part. I remember that day like it was it was Valentine's Day, and then I think my little brother got dumped on Valentine's Day. So we were already in a bad mood. Like I was driving him home, and we're at the Sawgrass. So like I remember being the first car in the intersection, and all I see is cops going like 120 miles. I'm telling you, like in a little road like this right here, and they're going. And I'm like, damn, something happened, you know. And then I pull up home, and I remember friend Erica. She's like, yo, turn on the TV right now. And then I see it happening. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you this. I'm 2 miles from the school, and they actually caught the kid, and he's actually doing his trial this week.
Yeah.
Less than like 200-300 yards from my house.
Oh, he was running.
Yeah, he hit a Walmart and a McDonald's, which is like the Walmart and McDonald's everybody would go to.
How did he get? Oh, I guess he fled the scene right after.
He fled like he was one of those students.
Oh.
And then, yeah, I mean, I remember just seeing that, and it was just heartbreaking. Every day there was like news in the neighborhood. People would reach out to me on social media to see if I wanted to be in the news and talk about it. I didn't want to get involved with all that, but that was like, you never know, like that hit home. You never think it's gonna happen to you until like something that close, and I'm like, dude, that was the worst.
Yeah, it's like when Pulse happened. My roommate for the first 2 years in college was Corey. Shout out Corey, who's gay, and he always went to Pulse. Like that was like his 1, 2, 3.
Really?
And he wasn't there that night, but when I tell you he knew several people who passed and several people who were there, it was insane. But I remember waking up in Orlando that next morning with text from my mom, text from my dad, and not that they would think I'd be at Pulse, but they were like, were you, like, just by chance, were you there? Are you okay?
Right.
Because at that time it was like 20, but literally every update, every 10 minutes, it was like 25, 30, 35. And then I remember that day, bro, that's the only time I've ever like given blood at like a bus stop. Because like I was just driving around seeing what I could do to help, because it was just insane. It was a really eerie feeling. And again, I don't, not to get political, I don't know what the solution is to it. It is insane. I don't think anything's an easy fix. We live in a crazy world. I hope things chill out, but the world just keeps getting worse and worse, to be honest. So let's pray that it gets better. And yeah, so with that, damn, but that's crazy. 200 yards?
Yeah, he was like running.
See, here's my thing, and we can cut this too, but I think they should hang him from a bridge. I think they should hang him from 95.
He tried to plead the insanity case, but not many people know this. Like a week before, he recorded himself saying like, "I'm coming in. I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm aiming for 20." So it was premeditated. So you can't plead insanity when it's premeditated. And
my thing is, even if insanity, in this case, right, we know for a fact it was him. If we didn't know it was him, there has to be a trial. I get it. But we know for a fact this is the guy who killed 20 people.
Yeah.
Why waste taxpayer money? Why do all this shit?
Bring some closure.
Go to 95 with a fucking rope, throw him over, let him hang. And maybe the weird motherfucker who's thinking about doing it next Tuesday, driving past 95, seeing a dead body hanging and thinking, I don't want to be that one. Might make them think twice, rather than a little TV in a class saying don't shoot your classmates for 5 minutes.
Isn't that what they used to do back in the day? They're like decapitate you in front of everybody if you commit. And then like that was like a warning for everybody.
Right.
Because here's the thing, with these twisted ass individuals, the heroism of seeing them on TV is like the fantasy, right? Like, I want to be the guy who killed it. I want to be the Ted Bundy, right? But when Ted Bundy's hanging from a bridge, you might not want to be Ted Bundy anymore, right?
But you don't see that.
You don't see that. They don't show the execution. It's just Ted Bundy, the one that women were writing love letters to in jail because they were fantasizing him. Where, again, it might not be so much of a fantasy if the body's rotting on a rope over I-95. So call me crazy, but I think people need a little bit of, just like keyboard warriors, right? They say all this shit, but if they get punched in the face in life, they're going to shut the fuck up. So it's like, you could say a lot of things online, you could be this one person, but when things happen to you in real life and you see things physically, like that dude's hanging, I think it will check people. So Kevin, this past week, you had started 75 Hard with us.
Yeah.
And
I failed,
I'm
bro.
proud of you. You did fail. So I want to get to that. But with 75 Hard, and we have the little group of us three all doing it, and you guys are welcome to join whenever. But you started. My initial question is, why did you want to start 75 Hard? What intrigued you to it?
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the boundary I need to set. I feel like anything I'm lacking, I'm not lacking motivation at all. I'm not lacking, I'm healthy. Yeah. Like I'm not handicapped or anything, but I'm definitely lacking consistency and discipline. And I know that's what most people get from 75 Hard. It's not even, I look good when I take my shirt off. I don't look bad. Yeah. I'm comfortable with the way I look, but it's more about creating, is what they say, it takes 2 weeks to break a habit and 2 weeks to start a habit. And I feel like if I can accomplish that, and also I haven't been challenged since high school. You know what I mean? So it was that's the main reason I wanted to do it, just to have some more consistency and discipline.
And what I kind of don't like about my transformation with 75 hard and it being physical, which is so easy to see. You're like, hey, he did 75 hard, lost a bunch of weight. It makes that correlation of I have to be fat or obese or whatever to get anything out of 75 hard.
No.
But there's so many different aspects of life where like it's not something you could see, but whether someone's succeeding with what they want to succeed with in their professional life
Right.
or pushing their personal relationships more or they don't have any purpose, whatever it be, that's something that's not really you could see in fruition. Like, oh my God, that's, you know, he's doing so much better in his job. No one knows that, you know. But for someone like you who I think is doing well in life, right, you're on a good path, there's a booster to that.
Right.
And there's a way to get, you know, you might end up at Y at age 35 or 40, but you can get there by 30, right? And if you can get there by 30, it's going to be because you have these characteristics of I want what I want, and those little fucking things that are going to distract me from what I really want are no more, you know?
Right.
Which brings me to my next point. So on Friday, you failed 75 hard, and we were
Right.
4 days in. What was that fuck it moment of, all right, I'll restart it?
Well,
right?
it wasn't a fuck it moment. It was a realization that, like, if I want to do this, I got to do it. And, like, you got to do it. You have to plan your day out. You can't just, like, one day say, you know what, I'm going to do my workout later because you think, like, nothing can happen. Like, I remember it was Jacqueline's birthday Friday, and I didn't drink. That's not how I lost it. I went out. We were supposed to go on a boat at 12. We didn't get into the boat till like 4 or 5. So by the time we got back from the boat, it was like 7:30. And then by then we ate dinner. It's like 8. Now, like, my outdoor workout, I could do it at night.
Yeah.
But it's her birthday, and we were supposed to go home. We're at a certain time where I was going to kill my last workout and finish my book. And I ended up just staying out and going out all night. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? I failed it. And, like, you know, I could have, like, I did my workouts. I haven't drank. I've been reading. Like, I could have, like, most people could have probably honestly given themselves, like, whatever, let's skip it. Like, let's keep going. But, like, I was like, I told myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
So, and, like, I could have lied to you guys. But
And,
it was good, you know?
I was just going to say, kudos to you for being true to yourself. I'll say this, too. You know, I've done it twice now with being with her. It's a commitment not only for you, but the person you're with, because what you do affects them. And at first, she thought, like, oh, we're not going to have any fun when we do 75 hard. And the first time around I did 75 hard, I was kind of a different person. I wasn't very happy. I was, like, miserable. This time around, it was a much different presence. But it's a commitment for them, too, because they have to understand that on such a situation like your birthday or stuff like that. Like, in this case, if it was her, I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I would try to do it both in the morning and then plan out everything else for the day.
That's what I should have done.
But shit happens, you know? So my next question to you would be, like, after that day, what lesson did you learn? So say it's your mother's birthday next Friday, right? What lesson did you learn that you're going to take into this round?
So, like, now what we do, we have this, like, whiteboard in our bedroom. And now, like, right before I go to bed, I write everything I'm going to do that day. So, like, wake up, eat breakfast. Like, I don't have to write that. But, like, I wake up, and that's, like, my planner.
Yeah.
And I make sure I try to do it like at a reasonable time. I try to get it all done before noon.
Yep.
Or else, like, if I hop on Xbox, I'm not gonna want to do it. If I smoke, I don't even smoke that much. But if I'm not gonna want to do it. And before, like, I try to treat everything else like a reward.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna play Xbox, I gotta do my shorts first, and my shorts first is 75 hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I don't do it that way, it didn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter that I failed, but it was 4 or 5 days in.
Yeah.
But if I was in day 50 and I failed over that, I would have been, like, fucking torn about it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm kind of glad I learned that now, like, and just hold myself accountable for it. Like, and I don't blame anyone for going out late on the boat. Like, I knew what I signed up for.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just, like, holding yourself accountable for, like, your whole day and no excuses for that day.
Yeah. Structure is the word you're looking for, and structure is what I lack. And structure is usually the common denominator between people who aren't happy. Is there no structure to life? The people who are go with the flow on the weekends and just waiting for someone to hit them up to go out or waiting to get a call to do something. Put some fucking structure in your day. And I know I sound like a guru, annoying guy, but, like, have a plan for the day. Get that plan done. And you know what? You feel great because you're like, oh my God, I had 7 things I had to do today and I smashed that shit. How are you not going to feel good?
Right.
It's impossible not to feel like I am done. Now, when you do play Xbox at 2 p.m., after you've done your shit the first 6 hours of the day,
feel good.
This is a reward.
Right.
Rather than this is a what am I doing, you know? And the reality of the fact is, and I say it all the time, you have to live for what you want most more than what you want now. Like, right now, there's so many different things tugging at you, and you have people hit you up and this and that. with 75 hard, you learn very fast that you're going to have to be different in social situations, you know, and it makes you question, like, do people just like me when I go out because we're all just drunk? Like, is that the only reason I clicked with that person? And when you go out, you'll go to, you know, I went to weddings sober and shit now, and it's like, you feel almost a little social anxiety because you're like not a part of the clique who's ordering shots and drinks and this and that. And you're also known as the guy who orders shots and drinks and this and that, right? So you get a million questions. But the turnover you have to where you're in a situation like this again, and it's like my structure, that turnover to real life, you can't miss, bro. You can't miss, because you now have the grassroots to do whatever the fuck you want, you know? And instead of reading that book and taking 30 minutes, right, you allocate that towards, I want to learn taxes because I want to be an accountant, or, you know, whatever it is. And you now have the structure to do that. So I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, man.
I'll say this. I'd say the teens usually get the worst for me, like 16, 17, 18, 19. And that's not to scare you, those numbers. But the 2 times around I've done it, it's because, like, you're 3 weeks in, you haven't started seeing the long-term results of it, but yet you, for 3 weeks, haven't lived your normal life. So you start to get like a little bit of a, what the fuck am I doing this for? You haven't felt the back-end result of it.
And it still feels early in the journey.
And then in his book, he calls day 30 to 40 God mode. Because day 30 to 40 is when everything is like starting to make sense.
Right.
You know, like, and through things like law of attraction, which I'm about to get to, and you writing these things down, like, I want to get this job, or I want to meet this person. Like for you, you're looking at different possible careers right now. And so you do these things. You go to the gym every day, and then on the 29th day, you meet someone at the gym who you just start talking to. He owns his own business, and he wants to hire you.
Right.
That's how you put yourself in the right situations to where things start to come to, and you're like, oh my God. You know, if I wasn't structured and I didn't go to the gym and I didn't meet this guy, and, you know, I wasn't in the right mindset, what the fuck would have happened? So I stick with it. And if you have those days where you're like, I'm gassed, like, this isn't worth it, call me. Just literally call me.
Sure.
Get me on the phone.
I think having a support group is good. Like, I remember trying to, like, when you did 7-5 soft, like, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But, like, it was more of an accountability. Not that I need somebody else to hold me accountable, but just knowing you're doing it with somebody. Maybe that's why, like, AA and all those other groups are so, like, important. There's people that don't drink and haven't drank for 12 years but go to AA still because they have that group and that bond. And just, like, I think every day we wake up and we're like, all right, let's get it, boys. You know what I mean? And then it's like, if I wake up and I don't hear that, like, I'm, like, wondering, like, oh, did we get it today? You know what I mean?
And no, man, it's good. So also, you guys notice something. Surround yourself with people that are pushing for more, yo. And maybe if you're unstructured and the weekends come around and you don't know what you want to do and you want to just get fucked up to forget about your problems, see who's around and who's hitting you up and who your best friends are, and if they're going to be your future push for better, you know. And not throwing shade to those people. All I'm saying is a lot of shit makes sense when you start to look around and look at the pieces of the puzzle of your life and be like, okay, well, that's why I am who I am. And so find yourself, again, I'm not a god, but these guys are doing 75 hard because they know I did it, and they know they can do it, and they know it's going to help them. And that's because they know me. So surround yourself with people who push for more, and that's it.
Preach it.
Now, with law of attraction, when did you start picking that up?
When I was young, like high school.
Okay.
I watched the movie The Secret. I think my brother watched it. My dad got me the book. I read it. And I think I did it for like a week or two. And I never thought about it. But like, I remember always like mentally manifesting things, you know, like just dating the hottest girl in high school or something like that. And then like when it really resparked back when I met up with Pete and he was tattooed. I was like, dude, no way. And then like, that's when it really came back in my life. And I'm telling you, I have like 3 notebooks, and every time I read back, like that's the best part of Law of Attraction. Going back to these notebooks and just seeing like everything you've wanted manifested worked out some way or another. You know, like the car I drive, the girl I'm with. I remember writing about Jacqueline before we went on a date. You know what I mean? Moving to West Palm, being with Pete, like all that, like managing Bradley's, everything was like all written at one point or a thought. You know what I mean? And they always say like, my biggest thing with law of attraction, it's like you can't spell attraction without action. You know what I mean? You can't just write this Christmas list and expect to wake up the next day rich. You know what I mean? It's just another thing, accountability.
Yeah. And also it gives validity to your thoughts because we have so many of them a day, right? So there's really no validity if one of them is like, I want to change the world, or I want to be the biggest speaker in the world, or I want $1 million by the time I'm 30. It's just another thought. See you later. But when you write it down as a list of things, then it's like, okay, well, it's not just a thought. That's like a dream. And that's the difference between a thought and a dream. And then writing it down, now it's something that is plausible and something that you could see in real life. It's no longer in the metaphysical world. And when you start seeing that, and then you start achieving some of these things, and you're like, oh my God, all these things that are around us are literally just thoughts at one point.
Right.
Every single thing. And it was literally the people who decided to go after those thoughts that, built the life they wanted to build. And what's the other option? Not going after your thoughts, and not pushing for more. Like I always say, guys, it's not for everyone. Some people manifest in their head, but writing it down does give validity to what you're thinking. So yeah. Well, I think that was fantastic.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like Papo Taco, I know some of you guys are regular viewers, and it means the world to us.
Yes.
And it meant the world for you to come on tonight, man.
Been dying.
Yeah, it was long overdue.
Yeah,
if you
for
don't
sure.
know Papo Taco in real life, he is as dope as he appears. And,
Thank you.
He's a dog.
Not even
Retired.
Not even,
Retired.
retired dog. Jacqueline, I love you. I haven't met you yet. But thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. We will see you guys next week. This is Kevin. Peace.
Peace.
But I've been outside getting money, I'm on my thug again. Tryna stack a little dub, tryna catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though.